Welcome to Dai Headlines. I'm Anthony Carlisle. Thank you for joining us. Tens of thousands of people died in the China earthquake and some 40 million people were affected. For the past 3 months, the government and aid agencies like Tzu Chi have been working to rebuild the disaster areas. In the first of a series of reports from Sichuan, we take an in-depth look at the road to recovery 100 days after the quake. Startling images of the China earthquake sent shockwaves around the world. Homes were reduced to rubble as brick and concrete walls came crashing to the ground. After the disaster, the once bustling centre of Luoshui Township was turned into a ghost town. This is how the town looked in the immediate aftermath of the quake. 3 months later, things are very different. Life has returned to the streets as people go about their business, in stark contrast to the collapsed houses to one side. Traders sell their wares, making a living as usual. Now living in temporary housing, the tents which sheltered people immediately after the quake are used to shade market stalls. Only 6 months after opening their dried food business, Mr. and Mrs. Yen lost the store into which they had invested all their savings. Now they have to start from scratch, but this time with a heavy debt.
After the earthquake, our house fell down. I was very sad at the time. Later, I realized I had to live. We have a baby to bring up, so we borrowed money to set up the business. We still have to live.
I want to save some money to repair the house, then bring up our child. I'm not that frightened and still have confidence.
Like the Yens, many other people are rebuilding their lives. This elderly garlic seller rode 30 minutes by tricycle from her village to the market. Looking carefully at her produce, the blackened cloves of garlic are spoiled and only good for animal feed. The price has dropped from 1 RMB to just 0.1 RMB a kilo.
Our house collapsed in the earthquake. The garlic got wet in the rain and can't be sold. No one wants to buy them.
100 days after the Sichuan quake, Luoshui Township is returning to life and the economy is slowly recovering. Although behind the optimistic scenes there is hidden trauma and wounds that will never completely heal, survivors have made great strides to leave the shadow of the earthquake behind.